Hey, what's up everyone? The topic for this video is going to be animal abductions. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because I actually went through several situations like this myself. And for this video, I'm going to be sharing a personal experience from 2009. I believe this was around 2009, but I might have shared this earlier on with my channel, but in case you haven't seen it, I'm going to go ahead and share the video now. The reason why I'm doing this again is because I commented on a recent video that Tyler from Secure Team did, or Secure Team 10 did. And this individual here, Oscar Gonzalez, you can see his name right there. That arrow was horrible that I just drew, but Oscar Gonzalez said, "Tell us your stories." So, since this individual asked about 9 hours ago, I'm going to share. Now, as you probably know, cattle mutilations and animal mutilations have been going on quite some time. Now, personally, this might disturb some of the images shown on here, so I'll just leave this as the background. Okay, I'm out in the vehicle, so I'm a little further away from my Wi-Fi. So I'll probably have to go back in to upload this. I might be able to upload it out here, I don't know, but I'm further away from our micro cell tower and Wi-Fi, so hopefully this video doesn't mess up. So with that being said, I'm going to share my own personal story. And I thank that individual that I just mentioned for asking me to share, so I'm going to share it now. And I'll give him a link to it if he would like to check it out. So if he would, then feel free to do so. So around the year 2009, before this major Sasquatch activity skyrocketed, and for the past couple of years it's actually eased off quite a bit, but during that time, now we had several cats at that time, and for some reason our cat had a litter of cats that looked all alike. They were mostly tannish, mostly yellow colored, mostly yellow cats at that time. And for some reason, around the side of the house where the majority of the trees are, the bushes, and where the dog pen is at on the other side, our dog had gotten to where she was frightened by these things at that time. She was getting on up there in years, and she'd become very frightened of these things. And believe me, these things were quite common and very strange in 2012 is when they really got common. But what happened particularly to our cats was a series of nights in a row before I would wake up before school. This was about in my 8th to 9th grade year, and as I would wake up to go to school, and this was about, I guess, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning sometimes when I would be up and happen to be outside, and there were these. Every morning there was, in a row, for 5 or 6 days, there was another cat killed. And it disturbed us to see this because the cat looked like it had been traumatized. Our cat had literally been traumatized. Its head was turned back, and the mouth was wide open. The mouth was open and in pain. The mouth of the cat, each cat, 5 to 6 cats in a row, was open, and the head was pushed backward, and it was like it had immediately been frozen in pain, traumatized as well. And so it was quite disturbing. I didn't even like to think on it. I wish we had taken pictures. I mean, back then all we really had was the Kodak cameras, the little roll film cameras, and that's at the time that's what we had when this happened. And so it happened one night, then again and again and again and again and again, for 6 different cats, night after night. So we just took the shovel and just got rid of the cat. We just got rid of the cat. We didn't want to think about it. And then I had to go to school, and this happened for several nights in a row, several mornings. And so the cat had been split open surgically. It had been surgically split open right through the middle and in the abdominal area, from the chest all the way down as if a perfect surgical cut, and as if something with kind of like 3 incision marks left 3 maybe claw incisions, some people would say, but It looked like it had been done by a laser. The only thing that was left was the liver. In every single one of the animals, the case was the same. Every one of our cats, all they left was the liver. And I believe maybe the heart. The heart and liver was all that was left. And they left that, and it completely drained all of them of blood. 6 cats in a row, cut open through the middle, clean slice, no blood, completely drained of blood, no blood surrounding them. And now we tried to brush it off as a logical explanation. The first thing we tried to do was think, okay, at the time we had some really hateful towards us neighbors that were really hateful towards us, and they were just hard to deal with at that time. So we thought, well, maybe someone played a prank or someone did something mean, which we knew it wasn't that, because no one would be able to do that in the middle of the night. There was this man that lived next door. He was a drunk. He was very hateful. He died, and then they finally moved out later, 4 years after that. They finally moved out, and these other people moved in, which, the last people were really difficult to deal with. I mean, every neighbor we've had, they've all had most of them have all had their quirks that you have to deal with, but the last ones were, but that's not the point for this video. We just tried to, how you try to brush it off as a logical explanation? Obviously, you always try to do that. You try to just brush it off and come up with some logical explanation. And around that time, I had looked up some articles. I looked up some articles years later that various states, including Texas and other states, which Texas is well known for the chupacabra activity. El chupacabra, known as the goat sucker, where it sucks all of the blood out of these animals. And I'll never forget the beings and the creatures and spirit activity, the things that I have witnessed, the things that I have seen. And so I got guts to share on Tyler from Secure Team's channel, and several people shared with me stating that it's good to know that other people are going through this. So, and I told them to check out my channel. Feel free to check out my channel where I share various occurrences. And but yeah, these cats, that had happened night after night. It happened 6 nights in a row to each of these cats, and they were left there every morning for 6 mornings in a row. And they picked 6 of the same type of cat. We had several cats at that time. Now we have 2 cats and 3 dogs. And these dogs that we have, someone just left them, and then they came right toward us. It's like, we're yours now. And that's just the way that was. So we've taken care of these dogs since then. They're really, really, really sweet. One's a red-bone coonhound, the other's a plot hound, and the other is an English coonhound. So they're really awesome. They're really good dogs. And we have 2 cats right now. This yellow one, as you know, the yellow one, Simba, and the kind of yellowish orange, and the calico, Cookie. But anyway, we have him and her. So hopefully nothing happens to them. I've had things I've had reptilian beings, I've had interdimensional beings, or was it extra dimensional for a while, or whatever the term changed to. But I have had my cats taken. I've had my cats traumatized, and they were sliced. People have had their cats cut in half, and then down the road from us, on topics online, some people were sharing that they were dealing with Sasquatch activity. And so I found out that their cats, several of their cats in a row, their chickens and some others, other animals of theirs, had been cut in half, or their head was cut off, or their body was sliced open and the blood was all drained. And that's what happened to our cats. Well, except they were just cut through the middle surgically. The blood was drained. They left 2 organs and left them there with their head bent back, like their head was pushed back, and just mouth open with the eyes wide open, just clenching. And they were in pain, in trauma, but it's like they were frozen. Like the cat was frozen, left there frozen. And so that's what happened to 6 of our cats in a row, 6 nights, 6 mornings in a row. So that happened 6 different times in a row. And then in 2012, the Sasquatch activity happened, and someone shared a story with me recently about, well, not recently, someone shared online on the local topics forum that there was down the road from us, that all of their animals had that happen to. Several of their animals. They were afraid to let any of their animals out. And people had dealt with skinwalker activity. I've dealt with it. I've dealt with these things. I've seen them. Sasquatch activity. I've dealt with angelic demonic activity. I've dealt with orbs, spirits. I have dealt with my dogs have been taken. I heard these weird sounds and all kinds of things. I literally thought a helicopter was in our yard, and then these lights, and then all of a sudden there was no more, and then I hear a loud crash. My dog's gone, the one that I was closest to at the time, and she really thinks a lot of me. My dog was gone, and the cord was sliced, or the cable she was on, it was sliced, and she prefers being tied up. Those two prefer. The male red-bone coonhound, he does not prefer to be tied up at all. He wants to be in the pen. So the other two, they like being tied up. They will purposely, they want to go right back to their cord. They feel safer, more secure that way. Not tied up necessarily. They have plenty of room to roam. That's not the point, but they like to be on that. When they get loose, if they ever get loose, they're like, please put me back. That's just how they are. But I mean, we've tried to have them in the pen where they can roam around. They don't like that, so they'd rather be on the cord. And but yeah, they disappeared, and then I said, return my dog now. This happened twice, and I hear a loud crash, branches breaks, and just, and it was very loud. And one of the situations when my dog Lizzie was returned, she was traumatized. She was scared to death. She was just sitting there shaking, just, and then she wouldn't eat, she wouldn't drink, and we had to give her antibiotics, we had to give her medicine. She got sick, she would throw up her food, after she was taken, her eyes looked different, her breath smelled like sulfur. I mean, my dog's breath smelled like sulfur after she was taken. But when I said return her now, this is the second time this happened. It happened a second time. And this was at 3 p.m. unusually. Usually it happens at 3 a.m. Usually it happens at the nighttime or 9 p.m. or something like that. And suddenly I hear a loud crash during the day. Same thing happened at 9 o'clock at night and 3 a.m. at night. But one of the other times that it happened, it was 3:30 p.m. in the daytime. And all of a sudden I hear a loud crash. And then she's left with this thing this wrapped around her body. The cord was like, it was somehow broken loose from her, but then it was put around her body, and she had this limb. Okay, we had her on this bush, and the bush had been sliced, just a clean cut, like a laser cut, and the limb was left there with her, and she was not strong enough to move that limb, let alone all across the yard and then run back to the other dog. And then she was wrapped up under some weeds right there at the dog, and she just was going, and she wouldn't eat or drink for a long time after that. We were trying to give her food and water. She would turn her head no. She would be sick. She had a fever. Then she had a fever. So when we gave her antibiotics and things from the vet, and we had to give her some antibiotics from us and some medicine. We gave her several things to help her out. And if we had not have done that, she would be dead. So whatever did, they would bark like crazy at night. And whatever did that to her traumatized her for a very long time. And her breath smelled like sulfur. There's so much more to share. And then my cats, several of my cats got taken, and they just disappeared and never returned again. One of my cats were across the road, and they looked like they had been traumatized, and it was dead. This happened a while back. He was a beautiful cat, Hugh. I loved him. And Jackie, she disappeared. A cat, Rocket, would disappear. Then an alien being came to me in a dream and told me, we returned him. Okay, this is what happened. I was laying in the bed, and I woke up. It was about 9:30 at night. I'm asleep, and all of a sudden I hear I'm having this dream, and it's this alien being speaking to me telepathically, and he said, we returned your cat. And it says we had to break several laws basically to do it. We had to break several, I guess, I don't know whether they mean laws of physics or what, but it said we had to go break several laws for this to happen. And so they said, we have returned your cat. It said, and it says this will likely not happen again. And this being told me, love him, pet him, hug him. And I'm like, wait, what? I mean, he's back? And so then I fade out of the dream or the vision or whatever I'm in, astral projection. I don't know what I was in, whether it was projection or out-of-body experience, OBE situation or what. But after this alien being spoke to me telepathically, he had the small mouth, the large eyes, and this strange white type of glow, but it was an alien being, like you'd see the typical alien-looking being. And so it faded away, and I was fading back into my body. I went, and I woke up. And after he told me that, you know, they've returned my cat to love him, pet him, and hug him, that it will likely not happen again, they had to break a lot of rules and laws to do it. It's like he was interdimensionally returned, teleported back to me. I had a cat many years ago that had some very mysterious spiritual situations with him. He would always get me to do my homework. He would always sit there and put his paw on the book, and he would just set me straight. And he would speak almost like telepathically. You could tell what he was saying. It looked like spirits would come through him of my loved ones and various people. It was just like sometimes you could see a human in him and it would freak you out in his eyes. And he would sense and see and hear things. He knew things, and he was very spiritually inclined, and I don't even know how we got him. He just was, our cat just had this coon cat, this, what they would probably call Norwegian forest cat, but it was a coon cat. He just was just born, and I don't know how, we had no cat like that around there. And then we moved here with him, moved where we are now with him. And so he was very connected to everything, and he could seem to appear and disappear. Where a situation where you let him outside, and suddenly he'd be back inside, or you bring him inside the house, and suddenly you couldn't find him, and he'd be outside waiting on the porch. You'd look all around the property waiting for him. We'd get in the vehicle, shine the lights, and come back, and there he would be licking on the porch. Like, what? What's the problem? It's like he teleported. I swear, I've had some crazy situations, but I remember the weird beings, the Sasquatch activity, large. I'm talking very. I mean, this gives me chills to think back on. I was outside, and I would go down there wondering what's going on down there where we would burn the garbage at the time, back when they used to allow you to burn garbage. Now they don't. Sent drones over, and we're watching, and then had the whole cavalry over, the police and everyone telling you can't burn now. It's crazy. But anyway, which I was watching it. I just went in for a moment, but they said someone needs to be out here, and they said you're not allowed to burn anymore. Next time it's a $1,500 fine. It's really stupid. Anyway, but back to this conversation of these large beings. This was in 2012. I went outside, and I was going toward the garbage pile where we would burn garbage at that time. And over at the building, I heard these things in the pile of sticks and things, and it went like very large monkeys or something. It was crazy, and they took off. They go like that, and they would go. They would spit and grunt and growl and blow. And then they hit the side of the roof of our building. That's how tall and large they were. They hit the roof of our building. And so, out of instinct, I mean, I just go, shoo, shoo, like that. And they go, like that, and growl. And it gives me chills to this day to talk about it. And they would hit the side of the building. They went, boom, 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 like that. They just hit the side of it. So I back up, and back then we didn't have those really bright headband lights. That would have been really helpful at that time. I don't know if you'd have been able to see them or not. My allergies are driving me crazy now, so I'm having a hard time talking. I'm probably going to have to end this video right here, clear my allergies up with something. I'm going to have to take some Zyrtec or something, clear my allergies up, and some nose spray. But seriously, I dealt with. I sound like Eric Hartman. Seriously, guys. Got to make some jokes here, because it's completely serious. When I was down there, they slammed the building, and then they grunted and growled and spit and blew this. There's like, and then just backed up. It was like giants. I mean, they were probably 9 feet. I swear, I can promise upon I could pass a polygraph test to this memory. And they backed up and disappeared. I heard them. They were in our garbage pile that we just put the garbage down there, ready to burn. And they were down there, they took off. And around the time that our cats got abducted and had that happen, our cats got surgical incisions. Well, that was in 2009. This was in 2012 or 13, around that time. I'll have to look up the documentation. I documented a little bit of it, but not all of it. I wish I'd have documented everything, but I try to just forget about it at the moment. I have dealt with so much, and other people would have been either really, really fortunate to have been able to witness all of that, or they would have really been scared to death, basically. But I consider myself, it was frightening, but I consider myself fortunate for being able to witness all of this that other people would have considered insane or crazy. And I have witnesses to it as well. And they seem to attract toward me, these beings and these things. They either come toward me or run away from me or make noises or something around me. But this weird-looking, dark, black thing, the next day after our animals were taken, our cats were killed and just left there at the same spot every single night and every single morning. The cats were left there at the same spot next to the house, next to the garage door. So then, the next day, the last time that had happened, I went down there to take something down to the garbage pile, and I seen this thing that looked like it was black, but it was crawling on the ground, and it had about, 8 legs. I don't know. It was very large, not small. I'm talking very large, like drone quadcopter size, but it was not a drone. Like those modern robots that you'd see walk. It was like, it moved like that, like that. And it went under this bag. And I witnessed it kind of run away from me and run under this bag. So this is giving me chills thinking back on all of this, but so I walk down there with a very long stick and expecting to see it where it went. It went under this bag. So I quickly just picked this bag up with a stick, and there's nothing under there. It had disappeared. It completely vanished, whatever that thing was. I've seen strange type of beings with glowing eyes, and there were like 5 of them down there, and I grabbed my camera and I had started to record, and it wouldn't turn on. My camera would not turn on. And they're down there where the dogs are now, and they're these beings, these things, probably about 5 feet tall. And this is still freaky, but they all look at me, and they turn around and they start coming closer. And I'm looking through my camera, I'm like, oh, okay, my camera's ready. And they get closer, and they start running toward me. My mama's in the chair in the house. They start running toward me, and I back the heck up. I back up, and I put the camera down, and I back up, and I get in the house. I actually bumped into the door and shut the door. They were going to run toward me because I started recording them. These 5 beings, these 5 things were going to run toward me. And, but when I got back out there, they were gone. I've witnessed owl-looking beings with pointy ears. I've witnessed jackal-looking beings. I've witnessed, oh my goodness, just so much. But that's what happened to my cats. I really wish I hadn't shared all of that in the same video, but it gives me chills. It gives me an adrenaline thinking back on this, how close I was to all of this. I mean, I would make jokes like, what is this, Gravity Falls? Every single day we had things around here like Gravity Falls. It was just, it was like portals, interdimensional beings, creatures, spirit activity. It just all followed me around. And abductions, everything. And that's just the beginning. I'm telling you, there's much more. This spirit white thing, being, ghosts, spirits, creatures, Sasquatch activity of all sorts, alien animal abductions, I've had my animals taken, returned, strange situations that would be impossible for my dogs to be in. We had some puppies that we could not keep. We got rid of them, but they were in the cage, and suddenly one of them I witnessed get thrown out, which made no sense. Just pitched out, just burp. I was like, what in the world? And I witnessed all of this. I witnessed it. I'm an eyewitness to this. I could pass a test on this, and I promise you it happened. I mean, I witnessed every bit of it. I hope I didn't go on too long. Please don't tell me that I went on too long, because I don't want to bore you all, but please, I mean, I don't want to go on too long. I know how some people don't like that, but I mean, please share this, and thank you to that individual who recommended that I do my animal alien abduction video, because an animal mutilation video. There have been cases of that worldwide, and there's been more rising cases. Hundreds of cattle, suddenly something happened to them, and various parts of their body were taken out, just removed, laser, surgically. You can't have hundreds of animals overnight. That happened to overnight, just suddenly. That would take a lot of work. And yeah, so this is legitimate. This happened to me. All of this happened. I've had so much more. This is only the tip of the iceberg. What I'm sharing with you is only a minimal part. And I swear to the fact that all of this happened, and you can believe me or not, I mean, it happened. It happened. I would not be telling it online. I'm not the type of person to just, kind of like the Native American Indians would state. They're people, when they tell something, it happened. And when I tell something on here, sadly, so many people out there just state things and state stories just to get attention, or just to say it happened when it didn't. But it happened. And like when the Native American Indians state something and it happened, with me, it happened. Just like when the Native American Indians state something, it happened for them. When I state something, it happened. And this is only the very beginning of some of the things that have happened to me. I have so much more. So I will be sharing more of the strange beings activity and the alien looking beings that I've seen across the road, at the woods, and I shined the light on them. When I started to record, they backed up. One pointed at me, one kind of nudged the other. He pointed at me over on the porch. Then I put my tablet down. I'm like, I won't record. I put my camera down, and then they went back down. They did not want me to record. It was very strange. They would not let me record. Something larger came down from the hill, but then it went back up whenever I chose to stop recording. Then they all went back down together with their hands kind of close together and just vanished. It was insane. I mean, I have experienced some things that most people would just... I mean, they had some paranormal investigators nearby. They spoke to me online, but I didn't have the guts to go with them. And some Sasquatch investigators, and they said there's more than Sasquatch happening. This is paranormal and supernatural and some freaky stuff. They had biologists come out there into the area that was experiencing this around here, and they said they will not tell what they experienced, nor they talk about it. They said it was too freaky. So they said that left it inconclusive. So we've dealt with a lot of things around here. A lot of investigations have happened, but it's only kind of done anonymously online. They wouldn't talk about it. And so various researchers and things, and nothing happened. Nothing at all. Nothing came back. We never even found anything about it online. But I know I've witnessed it. That's all I can say. And it seems to have eased off for now. But if it does come back, I will let you know if any of this comes back. It's definitely something that I will be sharing more of in a future video. Hopefully I'll break down various experiences in another video very soon. So peace and much love. I thank you for watching. Feel free to like this video. Leave your comments if you've dealt with anything similar. Let me know what you think. And please feel free to subscribe if you have not. And please share this video so others can know they are not alone in this journey of crazy experiences. So peace and much love. Bye.